The whole bridge just fell down.
Tonight on Q2, terror over the river. A cargo ship crashes into a Baltimore bridge, sending it tumbling into the water. That scene making waves nationwide and here in the Treasure State.
Ships back in that era were not as big. They're very similar to how the vehicles for a lot of bridges in Montana back in the 1950s were not as heavy.
Plus a happy homecoming.
People, God looking forward. I love all of you.
Hollywood's rising star Lily Gladstone shines bright in Browning today, and a shot in the arm to solve a growing problem.
Whether it's creating new buildings, expanding programs, expanding nursing schools to fill the need.
MSUB will soon break ground on a new nursing school looking to solve a statewide shortage. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Tonight, NTSB investigators are on the scene of a major bridge collapse in Baltimore. The terrifying scene playing out overnight when a 974-foot cargo ship lost power, colliding with the Francis Scott Key Bridge. That collision sending the entire bridge and 6 construction workers into the river. Maryland officials now saying they are transitioning to a recovery operation and the workers are presumed dead. The crew did send out a mayday call immediately after losing power, a move the governor says likely saved several lives. President Joe Biden promised federal relief and sent his prayers to the entire community.
I know every minute in that circumstance feels like a lifetime. You just don't know. It's just terrible. We're incredibly grateful for the brave rescuers who immediately rushed to the scene and to the people of Baltimore. I want to say we're with you. We're going to stay with you as long as it takes.
The president called it one of America's top ports, handling a record amount of cargo last year. The bridge, which was built back in 1977, is also critical for travel, seeing 12 million vehicles last year. Officials in Baltimore say the bridge was fully up to code, and so far everything indicates this was a terrible accident. But it's renewing a conversation about infrastructure and shining a spotlight on how bridges are engineered and built. Tonight I heard from 2 engineers who've studied bridges for a long time to get their reaction.
When I read the news, I felt sad.
My reaction to seeing that was just the reality that accidents do happen.
Greg Benjamin is president and CEO for Staley Engineering, as well as a structural engineer. The company's designed dozens of bridges here in Montana. He says he wasn't surprised to see the bridge in Baltimore collapse the way it did after it was hit by that huge cargo ship.
That was a massive impact. And, you know, you get a load like that the bridge was likely not designed for, and you take out the entire foundation or substructure of a bridge like that, and it would be anticipated that it would come down.
But I also started to think about what might have caused the accident.
Yanling Lang is chief bridge engineer for IMEG, which has several firms in Montana.
The bridges are supposed to be designed to, taking into consideration this kind of possibility.
Well, Lang isn't faulting the integrity of the bridge. She says the redundancies in place were likely outdated, with the bridge being nearly 50 years old. The American Institute of Steel Construction defines redundancies as, quote, the quality of a bridge that enables it to perform its function in a damaged state.
I was wondering, was the bridge adequately designed to take into account the happening of this kind of accidents?
The one issue that I do expect they may find in this situation is that possibly the ships back in that era were not as big. They're very similar to how the vehicles for a lot of bridges in Montana back in the 1950s were not as heavy. They were not as big.
The NTSB is investigating whether there were deficiencies with the vessel or with the bridge's structure and design, or perhaps both.
A catastrophic event like this, it's always studied, and you always want to understand the cause. And generally, you let that cause improve codes, improve standards, and continually improve designs as you move forward.
Well, this incident bringing back memories of last summer's bridge collapse near Reed Point. Many questions still remain from that incident, with one of the biggest being whether the bridge collapse caused the train to derail or vice versa. MTN reached out to Montana Rail Link again today looking for an update on the investigation. Our calls and emails were not returned. That's a question we've been asking for months. A new bridge over the river was constructed in just 28 days. 10 train cars toppled into the Yellowstone River during that derailment. More than 236,000 pounds of asphalt have since been removed from the river and its shorelines. Phase 2 of the cleanup process, which will be further evaluation, is set to begin shortly. Supreme Court justices heard arguments today whether the Food and Drug Administration adequately considered safety when it expanded access to the abortion pill mifepristone. Used with another drug, mifepristone is the most common type of abortion nationwide. In 2016, the FDA extended the window women can take the pill from 7 to 10 weeks. Then during the pandemic, it said an in-person doctor's visit was not needed, allowing mail-order pharmacies to ship the drug nationwide. Critics argue those changes compromise women's health, but the government says mifepristone is safe, and the case is a blatant effort to further restrict abortion. The court is expected to make a decision by early July. And the sponsors of a ballot measure to specifically protect access to abortion in the Montana state constitution filed an objection to Attorney General Austin Knutson's proposed ballot statement. That measure was submitted by the committee Montanans Securing Reproductive Rights. It would add language to the state constitution establishing a right to make and carry out decisions about one's own pregnancy, including the right to abortion. Today, the group filed a motion with the state Supreme Court asking them to rule Knutson's statement was argumentative, prejudicial, and inaccurate, and to certify their proposed language instead. Knutson stated the supporters' proposed ballot statement was not a true and impartial explanation of the proposal. He submitted his own proposed language, which says the measure amends the Montana Constitution to allow post-viability abortions up to birth and leaves fetal viability and extraordinary medical measures the subjective judgment of an abortion provider rather than objective legal or medical standards.
Going to start off with Doppler radar here live this evening, and you can see we still have these streaks of snow showers. They've been occurring throughout the day. We picked up some in Billings, much quieter into the eastern plains, but certainly especially back closer to the mountain foothills. We're going to see a little bit of that for at least a short time longer. Things are starting to ease up a little bit west of the divide where it's been more active throughout the day. So we've had this dividing line from basically north of Great Falls down to around Sheridan and everything towards the west, picking up some snow shower activity. We'll see a break in this weather system as we start getting into the next couple of days, building in some warmer and drier conditions through Thursday afternoon. But our next weather system is knocking on the door. We'll break down the forecast details for you in a few minutes.
Well, thousands gathered in Browning today for a very happy homecoming.
I feel so lucky and so blessed that I'm Black people that I get to be here.
That's right. One of Hollywood's rising stars, Lily Gladstone, returned home this morning, greeting the crowd. Gladstone, a University of Montana alum, has made history several times over the last few months for her role in Killers of the Flower Moon. She became the first Native American actress to win a Golden Globe and was the first to be nominated for an Academy Award. And now Gladstone will be rewarded with an honorary doctorate from the U of M. Lily's history-making success has brought inspiration to people all over, especially young people. Members of the Great Falls Public Schools Indigenous program were in attendance today for the events. MTN's Brianna Juneau had a chance to catch up with some of the students to learn more about Gladstone's impact.
Office education, a spomokinon, a cake 6 and on, a cake amount 6 and on, Guinness next the weeks,
That was a prayer Sumutsigitsigin elementary students prepared for Lily Gladstone, who has emerged as a beacon of inspiration.
The impact that Lily has brought to the reservation is just amazing. Our students know they can reach for the stars, and they're the little res kids that didn't have the role models growing up, and now they can see someone that looks like them.
Do you want to be like Lily when you grow up?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be like Lily?
Because she speaks the same language I do.
Representation matters more than ever.
Lily inspires our students by just being from here, and she makes them feel like they can do anything that they set their minds to.
When they seen Lily on the national TV, speaking Blackfeet, it made them proud, just influenced by her, and it made them want to talk more and just be a lot more proud of who they are.
Gladstone embodies spirit and determination, qualities that are highly valued in the Blackfeet tribe. Her impact paves the way for future generations of Indigenous artists.
There's a lot of history and strength in the culture, but also these kids will see there's opportunities, doors are opening, and there's possibilities, and you can dream, and dream big.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Lily.
In Browning, Pita Sapuaki, Brianna Juno, MTN News.
Today's celebration of Lily Gladstone is not the only event the actress is involved with while back in Montana. Tomorrow, she'll be a part of a special screening of the documentary film Bring Them Home, which tells the story of a decades-long effort to bring wild buffalo back to the Blackfeet Reservation. Gladstone narrates the movie and also serves as executive producer. The film's production team also includes brother and sister Ivan and Ivy McDonald, who are also tribal members. Well, still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news here on Q2, weaving wooden baskets. A hobby turns into a 25-year success story for one Billings couple. But first,
I'm Alina Howder. This site near downtown Billings will be home to one of Montana State's newest nursing education buildings. We'll tell you more coming up.